I call to order the East Ascension Drainage Board #1 Board of Commissioners meeting, October 8th, here in the Gonzales Courthouse. Roll call, we are missing Mr. Robert, Mr. Turner, and Mr. Melanson. OJ, could you please lead us in invocation of the pledge?
Please bow our head. Dear Lord, bless this great country, bless this great state, bless this great parish. Bless all the members that are here tonight. And dear Lord, bless all the service members that give us the freedom we have today. Thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, public comment period, additions to agenda. If you would like to speak on any item on the agenda, please go to my left. You have a green card and a red card if you are against, green card if you are for the item. And please note if you would like to speak one way or another. While we're here at the beginning of the meeting, I would like to recognize City Councilman Tim Riley in attendance as one of our elected officials. Just want to appreciate you being here. Appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
I apologize for not recognizing you.
Just trying to pick up the slack, my finance guy. So anyway, item number 4, acceptance of meetings.
Motion.
Motion from Mr. Mason, second by Mr. Varnado. Any questions? Any objection? Hearing none, meetings are accepted. All right, number 5, chairman's reports and announcements. I'd like to take some time here to recognize and thank some representatives from Honeywell and their willingness to donate some drainage servitudes to the drainage district for a Highway 74 and Bluff Swamp drainage areas. Again, yet another example of industry working with community to the benefit of our taxpayers. And we actually have some representatives here if you guys would like to introduce yourself and speak.
So I'm Ryan Varnado, I'm the site director for Honeywell Geismar.
Lou Allen Hernandez, HS&E manager for Geismar.
All right, just like to say, we appreciate the opportunity to work with you guys. We're glad to be able to, provide the easement that we did and look forward to working with the parish in the future as well. Thank you.
We surely appreciate it. Thank you.
Chair, could I get a quick picture?
Absolutely.
Guys, come on, take a picture.
I like Bunny, he smells funny.
I do smell fun. I probably do smell fun.
He smells like Dutchtown.
What does Dutchtown smell like? Sandalwood?
It's like if Prairieville and San Juan had a baby.
Your what?
My picture there.
Oh, good.
I wasn't able to stop.
A lot of strong ball guys in that photo. Just saying.
I'm done, bro. I'm done.
All right, 6'3". 6B? Is that 6B?
6'3".
He wants to talk about
He's a cool fella.
the third one. He wants to talk about the drainage.
good dude.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
Awesome. I think so. Let me ask him.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, moving on to general business, item number 6. 6A, approval of professional selection committee's recommendation to select the highest scoring respondent, GIS Engineering, LLC, for the RFQ, Ascension Parish Government Isolated Pumping Stations Project, and to enter into a service contract for the project. Motion, Mr. Hillingsbeck. Second, Ms. Alonzo. Does anyone have any questions? Are there any objections? Hearing none, carries the council. All right, item 6B. What was it? C. Okay. Approval of proposal for miscellaneous culvert sizing and drainage engineering consultant services by Hartman Engineering not to exceed $85,000. Motion by Mr. Mason, second by Mr. Cullen. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, carries. All right, 6C, approval of resolution to approve allocated ADAPT funds in the amount of $6 million for the New River Stormwater Management Pump Station Project. I do have a speaker, Mr. Riley. Yeah, they're gonna present.
Good evening. I just want to thank the East Ascension Drainage Board, Parish Councilman, Parish President. This has been a long time coming. We appreciate you guys passing that, the New River Stormwater Management. that is going to be a tremendous blessing for the city of Gonzales. Every city resident is going to benefit from that. And kudos to you all. This is landmark. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all.
Appreciate it. And we've got a presentation, I believe.
All right. So I think y'all have probably heard me say this a couple times. There is a lot of projects we're working on, over 200 million in projects total, okay? But there's two projects that are transformational. One is this project here we're about to go and take a look at, and then the second is the Sorrento Storm Surge Protection Project, which is an extension of the West Shore project. And so St. James is working on their extension, and we're going to tie into their extension, and that is the Conway Panama system. That is now gravity. We'll then put it under pumps. And so that's what the Sorrento Surge Protection. These two projects are transformational. And what I mean by that is they change how we look and handle drainage whenever a storm, any storm. And so today we're going to look at the New River Storm Management Pump Station. So we'll go ahead and dive into that. So this is the Marvin Bro Basin is what you're looking at, right? And this goes all the way to the pump station. And so just to show you the magnitude of how large that basin is. So from the Mississippi River, it's 22 miles upstream from that point at the Mississippi all the way to the pump station. And this would be the proposed New River Regional Pump Station. So what that does is all of Geismar, all of South Prairieville, all of Dutchtown would essentially send their water to the Mississippi River. Currently, all of their water has to go through Gonzales, through AC, through Sanama to get to the Sorrento Marvin Bro pump stations. So this would essentially eliminate that influx of water. And so whenever we're pulling down Marvin Bro, that water has to go 22 miles to reach that station. This will essentially divide that in half. So we'll give the residents the same protection on the west side of Dutchtown and Geismar because when we pump down, immediately those effects happen on the east side. And Sanama, everything starts pulling down immediately. But not in Geismar, not in Dutchtown, and not over there. And so from where our gate valves are in our weir system, everything, we can actually pump that down instead of opening it up into Marvin Bro. But that is just on normal storms. This has a secondary component, which is big, and that resulted from the 2021 storm. Go next slide. So this diversion project in Highway 74 would be box culverts to where when Spanish Lake and Bluff Swamp get above 6, and we are at low levels in Marvin Bro, we can then transfer that water. Instead of going down Manchac, we can then transfer that water into Marvin Bro and put it into the Mississippi River and not rely on Manchac. The problem in 2021 is Manchac got so high and stayed elevated that we could not let the water out, and it kept getting higher in every storm. And then we had an 8-inch rain, and that's where we saw Ridge Road and a lot of Dutchtown start flooding and have those flooding issues. This would eliminate that, where we could start at above 6 and houses start flooding around 11, just to give you an idea. So we're going to start managing that water above 6 before it even gets to 11. Before it even gets there, we're going to start transferring that water into the Mississippi River. And it's going to be through these box culverts through Highway 74. So this is just a kind of rendering of the pump station itself, right? Obviously the engineers will need to engineer that, but this is kind of similarly what that would look like. And so overall, here is the description. This is broken up into 2 phases because of the large dollar amount to do this correctly. And so it is a phase 1, phase 2. So what you're voting on tonight is the phase 1, which is the pump station. Thanks to Honeywell for the servitude we received. That servitude is related to this project. And so, and then the pump station and discharge piping into the Mississippi River, that's $61 million. So we're going to get $40 million from LWI, no match. nothing. We don't have to require that. And so the 21 comes from 15 from the mega, and then 6 that you're voting on this item today, which gets us to 21, which gets us to 61. We have to show that we can fully fund phase 1. And so that's how we get the 40 million. And so this is the project in scope here. So this is the highway, again, more typical drawings on the Highway 74. We started doing this preliminary engineering since 2021. So it's not like we just started this last month. We've been working on it since that flood. And so what you see here is the Bluff Swamp and the direction going to the cross drain, and then from Bluff Swamp to the Morgan conveyance channels. That is the Honeywell donation of that servitude, including all the way to Highway 30 from that rain gauge all the way westward to 30. And then here's a little more closer up of what that pump station may look like from our engineering standpoint. This is the intake. This is already in a depressed area that holds water already. So we really would be expanding that. And that's why with any pump station, it's just like a convenience store. It's location specific. It's everything about the location. So we're working with Nova now. We're currently having Civics look into the expropriation, but Nova has reached out and wanted to work with us. So we're currently doing the surveying right now to understand how large these detention as well as, well, the intake area, as well as the servitude and the channel going to this pump station in order to handle that load. So they're surveying it as we speak, and then we'll start the engineering. Our application is due at the end of this month, October 30th. So hopefully we will get word soon after that. And then they will allow us to start tapping into the $40 million to start this project and get it underway. Any questions?
Yes. You gotta press your button so you can be addressed in order, sir.
Since we're talking about order, Mr. Mason, go ahead.
So the funding for the first project, we've got it lined out but for the 67 million, do we have an idea of where we're gonna get that? Is LWI gonna contribute to that, or have we started kind of looking at that, or are we just getting to the first phase first?
First, yeah, phase 1 first.
We'll
Yes,
worry about phase 2 when we get there?
Phase 2 is we're going to submit a brick grant.
Gotcha.
So we're also submitting a brick grant, which we already submitted, is currently in application phase for the Sorrento surge protection. We will apply the brick grant for this one this coming year for phase 2 for the 47.
All right, Mr. Varnado.
Would we, say everything's online, would we have to go back and do some sort of, spend money on the Marvin Bro station in order to, I get, because we're not pumping such a big area now, if it's, once it's split, would we then go back and maybe downsize that station somehow, some way? It would stay the same size, even pumping less capacity?
Yeah,
Or
so-
less area?
Yeah, absolutely. So what this does as these projects come online, so let's just say that 5 years from now, we're well into Sorrento surge protection and we got a new river pump station in effect. You can actually tie Conway and Panama into this one with a bypass channel. So you can move water from basin to basin like they do in New Orleans. But you can only do it until you complete sealing off the southern part of our parish with the Sorrento surge protection. Sorrento surge protection involves a pump station on Conway and on Panama. And look way down the line, way down the line. You could actually put a pump station at the end of Conway to go to the Mississippi River as well, but that's way down the line. Both of these projects themselves are close to 200 million. Both of them are equally about 100 million if you start adding it all up. So they take at least half a decade to complete, right? The magnitude of these things are extreme. So it's going to take a while. But what this project does compared to no other project in the LWI is this one takes water out of the basin, meaning there's no impacting Iberville, there's no impacting East Baton Rouge, there's no impacting Livingston, there's no impacting St. James. This removes water out of the basin. It is the only project that does so. The Corps of Engineers tried to reverse Manchac many years ago, but it was over $1 billion price tag. So they just couldn't get the BCA. With the LWI and the 40 million does not require a BCA from us. So we don't have to do a benefit cost analysis. It does not require it. So that's why we can do phase 1. And that's why we can break it up into phase twos, because we don't have that requirement. But I can tell you that this will change everything. When Francine came through, we got 5 to 6 inches of water. And everybody was saying, man, y'all handled it great. And we did. Team was on spot. Me and Ron were in the command center. We were watching it every freaking second, every rainfall that dropped, with all of our SCADA, with everything we had. But if we would have got 8 to 10 inches, we would have been in trouble. With this addition, we will be able to handle that 8 to 12. And that changes everything. And that changes everything. And so it's massive on scale, but it's going to take a lot of doing and a lot of hard work, and we have been working on this since 2021. Any other questions?
I do have one question. When you're, and we're early on this, obviously, when you're talking pumps and equipment and all of that, is anything going to be reciprocal with like Marvin Bro, or will it be any opposite? Like, in other words, if we have an extra pump or a spare pump or whatever, is that something that's going to be interchangeable with that pump station? Are we trying to do that, or can we do that?
We're trying to go electrical.
Okay.
So whether we go horizontal or vertical, we're still in that debate. But we're certainly going electrical. The cost of running those pumps on electrical is cheaper. The maintenance should be cheaper. And so we're looking to get more efficient. Looking at pump stations in different parishes, they're all going electrical, and we're asking why. And this is the feedback we're getting. We're taking trips to pump stations. We're looking at them. We're going over their pump station attendants, asking them what problems you're having. Why do you have this design? What's your intake areas? What's the maintenance on these things? Where do you get them maintenance? So we're asking all those questions as we're working on the design of these new stations to ensure the longevity of the stations, the efficiencies, and the cost efficiency when it comes to how much it costs to run these. We are hoping to get most of our pump stations on SCADA to where we can run it from one centralized location. That's either from the command center or from Marvin Bro's safe house, one of the two. So Sorrento, for example, is completely on SCADA. Now, we did have some issue in Francine where we had to go and turn them on manually. So we got to have crews available for that. But on normal storms and everything else, all of this will be automatically driven, meaning it will hold the elevations we set it to. So they will kick on and kick off according to that. And that's how we're gonna hopefully run our stations in the future. That's our goal.
Motion to approve.
All right, I got a motion from Mr. Mason. Second from Mr. Cullen. Any other questions? I'm sorry, somebody had a question? All right, Mr. Arsenault.
Yeah, just, how long of a construction project are we looking at on that? Just curious.
Once we get the green light and secure the property, probably about 5 years for something like this.
Good deal.
All right, Mr. Hillensbeck.
So I'm guessing that would have to have like a general generator and a standby generator just in case of loss of power.
We have almost triple redundancy in our new pump station. So yes, redundancy
This
is,
electrical,
yeah.
or maybe.
Well, not only have one generator, we have 2 generators, plus the electric going in, which is 3-phase. So that has to cut out. Then one of the generators has to cut out. Then the third power source has to cut out. So, yeah.
All right, Mr. Vonderdo.
So if, say, construction is, don't start for a year or two, or just whatever it is, permitting, the whole process, are y'all anticipating, like anything else, every year, everything goes up? The past, since COVID, everything's been, skyrocketing. So, the number's 100 million at this point. So it's been that for a couple of years now from what even before I got on the council. Certainly that number's been kind of the same the whole time. Are y'all anticipating any kind of yearly increases? If it gets pushed back 5-6 years, takes 5-6 years to build, every year you're going to incur extra expenses for that. Do you have some sort of graduated cost that you're anticipating beyond 100 million? There has to be something.
So the good part is that we got the phase 1, phase 2, right? So we're going to focus on phase 1 because without the pump station, you don't need to do phase 2. Phase 2 is irrelevant. So we're going to focus on phase 1. These costs came right after that explosion of COVID on all those costs. Those costs have now stabilized. But the good thing is those inflated costs are where we got these cost analysis. Now, could they change? Possibly. But once we go out for bid and we go out for construction and whatever they build it, that's what we're going to hold them to. So we're going to know at that point. So even if it's 5 years down the road and they're building it, what they bid it is the number they're gonna build it for. So we're gonna, you know, as we do, we're gonna hold the line right there, make sure that those costs, unless we see something like a spike, whether it's due to war or another COVID or whatever, right? If we see that, we're gonna understand it. We're gonna be able to adjust because our entire cost of operations will go up across the parish. So we will know that theirs should as well. But hopefully it's bid low, and we are starting to see some of those bid items come in a little less than anticipated, which is great. I can't say this one will, but certainly when we get to that point, we hope to bid in the next couple of years before we get to inflated prices 5 years down the road.
Yeah, I think you know, I don't think there's many people in the Central Parish that don't agree that something like that is needed, obviously. But I think the next number 2 question is the cost of what it's gonna be in the end, and you know, so I was just curious.
Yeah, and I did want to note, you know, Chase was here, and many of you took a ride out to Ridge Road when Blaine was out there fighting with his neighbors, right, to stay afloat, right? And the water's banging on his house, and he's down the street sandbagging his neighbors, right? What you saw in Francine is not possible without the people of the Central Parish paying the drainage tax. And they need to know that. Every storm that we say that, man, y'all did great, that's because of that drainage tax. We cannot do it without it. We can't have transformational projects like this that change drainage forever, just like Marvin Bro did, without that drainage tax. And that's crucial. So we got to send a big thank you to our constituents who pay that tax, because they allow us to protect them. They allow us to protect them, and they do it by paying that tax. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
All right, a little bit more from Mr.
And this is just a general question. What does the whole pumping station do to our overall insurance rating and all that kind of stuff? I'm personally curious. It supposedly, it decreases the chances of folks in the vicinity to flood, so have y'all spoken to insurance companies or on the state level or anything to see what that potential rating, will it change? Will it get better? Will it, you know?
Yeah, I would probably like Marcia Shivers or floodplain administrator to come in and comment on that. I think most of your flood insurance ratings will be based on your levies. So with the Sorrento Surge Protection Levy, the new levy that's proposed for that project, we're making sure that it would be core certified. Marvin Bro levy increase, right? What we're paying on a current project that's going on right now, those to ensure that those levies can be certified. But again, that certification is difficult and very expensive. So you really have to weigh dollars and cents to do it. Our rating is not horrible. It's pretty good because we do everything we can in our power to reduce that insurance rating and flood insurance. So we're certainly not the worst. Are we the best? No. But we're certainly not the worst because we do everything we can to ensure that we get a good rating. I don't know if pump stations or classifications that does that. If you look at FEMA 2.0, all right, there's no rhyme or reason to it. I can't tell you how destructive FEMA 2.0 will be. It will be destructive. It will make people homeless because they simply will not be able to pay their mortgage plus their flood insurance. And if you have a mortgage, you're required to have flood insurance. It will become a cash market, and it will impact the poor people first, just like every tax and every increase of fees do, right? And so FEMA 2.0 is destructive. If you're asking me if pump stations make sense, look at FEMA 2.0 and you tell me if that makes sense, because it doesn't. And if that gets initiated, then I don't know what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I was just curious, because like I say, I mean, with the insurance rates and stuff and the money to taxpayers, I'm not disagreeing with the need of something, but you know, it's just the rates that we're paying and whatnot. I just wanted to know if there's some kind of correlation with it, with the studies you guys have done and talks that you've had on the state level, maybe even the federal level, that hey, we got these 2 pumping stations and we can get that water out of here. You know, these insurance agencies, you know, the risk has got to go down. Risk possibilities, potential has got to go down here versus some other parishes that don't have, you know, the have-not parishes, you know. So
it
you would
does.
think we would be at that point a better insurance market, but what the crap do I know? I'm just curious.
I can tell you I can't tell you about the insurance, because I'm not an insurance agent nor somebody that handles that specifically, or could tell you the rhyme or reason of 2.0. But I can tell you this: the ability to get back up and running after Francine and take that hit without having to deal with water, just dealing with wind, was tremendous. And that's because of the infrastructure we have in place. This is gonna allow us to be even a larger storm that's pouring more rain. I can't tell you that we can handle 30 inches like Asheville, North Carolina. I don't think so. The 26 inches in Central that led to 2016 backwater, I can't tell you we can handle that either. But it goes from 5 to 7 inches to 8 to 12. This is what these pump stations do, because we're able to mitigate that through the entire system. The detention ponds that we're building will take those flash flood waters and reduce those flooding. I guarantee you statistically, we can go to FEMA and show them that we have made a reduction in flooded structures. I will guarantee you that. I don't know if they'll give us an insurance break on it, because somebody's got to pay for all the houses in Florida, all the houses in Lake Charles, and guess who that is? That's us. And so that's the way insurance is.
The pool, good old 401k.
That's correct.
All right, you good?
Gotta love insurance.
All right, look, I had a motion from Mr. Mason, a second from Mr. Cullen. Any other questions? Any objections? Hearing none.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to 6D, approval of intergovernmental agreement between the Ascension Parish Government, East Ascension Consolidated Gravity Drainage District Number 1, East Baton Rouge Parish, and Iberville Parish Government for the Amite River Basin Commission to prioritize $30 million of the $100 million awarded by the Louisiana Watershed Initiative to be obligated to the Bayou Manchac Restoration and Wards Creek Realignment Project. Motion, Mr. Mason. Second, Mr. Hillingsbeck. Any questions? All right, any objection? Hearing none. All right, item 6E, amendment number 1 of the Master Task Order Contract for Professional Services from Wetlands Delineation and Permitting Services with Elios Environmental LLC to extend the current term to March 31st, 2025, and to add an additional $50,000 for a new NTE amount of $350,000. Motion from Mr. Mason. Second, Ms. Alonso. Any questions? Any objection? Hearing none, pass council. Item 6F, approval to purchase a 15-acre tract of the Causey property off Causey Road in the amount of $865,000.
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Mason. Second, Ms. Alonso. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, pass the council. All right, item 6G, approval to purchase tract 12A, 80 acres, section 22 tract of property off Lewis White Road along New River for regional detention, parcel number 2004634 at $20,000 an acre for an amount not to exceed $1.6 million. Motion, Ms. Alonso, second, Mr. Hillingsbeck. Any questions? Any objections? Question, Mr. Joseph.
Yes, Ron, with this 80 acres, that dirt there would go to the red dust area?
If we wanted to, we got some projects closer, like Astroland.
Okay, I'm just,
Okay, so Astroland will probably be the first one. This is a project of purchasing this property. The seller is doing us a favor at 20 an acre. So the two tracts that you bought were around mid-50s. And it's gonna get us an option on the rest of this. This fits into the detention of the New River Pump Station for flash flooding. It's in that area being west of 73. With that being said, this is quite a haul.
okay,
We're gonna have plenty of dirt from it, plenty of other projects as we tackle the red dirt issue. So we should have enough.
okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions? All right, any objections? All right, hearing none. Makes the full council. Sorry. Item 6H, approval of amendment number 1 with Hartman Engineering Incorporated for the Marvin Bro Levee Improvements Project to extend the contract term through November 8th, 2025. This amendment only extends the term and does not affect the original contract price. Motion, Mr. Mason. Second, Mr. Arsenault. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none. All right. Before we get to the drainage report, I do want to introduce someone. Ms. Monica Gorman is the executive director of the Pontchartrain Levee District. They work with a lot of the drainage areas, a lot of other parishes, and I invite you to introduce yourself to the council after the meeting, or you can do it now. Either way. Well, like I said, that's Ms. Monica, and please meet her when you get a chance.
So, yeah, you want to just point out PLD has just finished up the Frog Bayou locks. They are working on our Lower Ridge Levee extension, and they're also involved in the transformational project of the Sorrento surge protection. So, and they're also collaborating with us on Manchac as well, and the Highway Pennant 2 gapping. A lot of projects there.
Thank you, Parish President. I appreciate that. So, good evening, members. My name is Monica Gorman. I'm Executive Director of the Pontchartrain Levee District. I have been Executive Director since 2004. Just a little bit about Pontchartrain Levee District. We represent 6 East Bank parishes: East Baton Rouge, Iberville, Ascension, St. James, St. John, and St. Charles parishes. So we remain quite busy. My office is in Lutcher, Louisiana, in St. James Parish. We are happy to work with Ascension Parish for the last 20 years that I've been executive director and participated in quite a few projects with you. Just as the parish president indicated, currently there are the LA 22 project, the Ascension Storm Surge, Lower Ridge Levee Extension, Fish Frog Bayou Structure, just to name a few. Pontchartrain Levee District, we operate on a budget of right around $17.4 million and are currently partners, whether it be the Army Corps of Engineers, the local parishes, CPRA, and others in projects totaling over $5 billion. We are very, very proud of what we've done. If there's any information that I can ever give to you, we do maintain the 118 miles of mainline river levee in all of those 6 parishes, and currently 9.5 miles of federal protection levee in St. Charles Parish, and potentially we have coming up another 23 miles of hurricane protection levee in the river parishes with the West Shore Lake Pontchartrain project. I'm happy, if you ever need a presentation from PLD to know who we are, what we do, I'm happy to give that to you. If you ever need just information in general of things happening up and down the river, reach out to me. I'll leave my cards or introduce myself to y'all after the meeting. But anyway, thank you very much for the introduction, and thank you for giving me the time.
All right,
And
appreciate
also-
you taking some.
Also, Chairman, she's a resident of Ascension Parish as well.
Yeah, she's actually my constituent, so y'all better be nice.
So
Just
we're
let
happy
me
to
know,
have her.
'cause I'm gonna hear about it. If not, I can promise you. All right, item 7A, we're gonna go to a vegetation report. Samuel.
Good afternoon, everybody. Ron hid it from me. Yeah, sabotaged, there we go. All right, so this is covering our activities from June to September. Currently, right now, we have our state highway crews are on 928 and 74. That puts us at 38% complete on our last mowing of the season. Spraying is already 100% complete, and litter is following up behind our mowing at 31% complete. Update on the contract for Lifehouse. After the $800,000 that was added in earlier this year in 2024, this is currently what we have paid to date so far at $123,000, and we have $676,000 left. Some metrics on our call center. These are requests that are coming in from the public. You can definitely see now that we're coming to our close of our 3rd growing season in this work order system. You can definitely see our trend that comes in. 2024 is the green one in the middle. Of those that we've received in from June to September, you can see our top 5 are, of course, cutting parish roads, cutting off roads, hand cleaning, in our waterways. We've had an exceptionally busy year for our school board submitting requests for getting trees trimmed, also hand cleaning and servitudes. What we have completed from the call center, in the last few months, we have actually seen a upward trend in completion. I also want to give some thanks to my supervisors. We've had 3 new supervisors in our vegetation department that started in June and July time, and they've definitely, as you could see from the data, we're actually really hitting our stride right now, and we've been building a good team, and I hope that next year is going to be even better. Some of our internal work order metrics, this is what we do as far as our normal rotations, any preventative maintenance work, maintenance on equipment, and also all of our work orders associated with our state highway contract. A quick report of what we have done internally by task: tree debris removal, spraying parish roads, spraying off-road, hand cleaning, cutting. This is just a quick snapshot by activity of what we do in-house. Anybody have any questions?
I do. So I just want to ask for your prayers for the town of Sorrento's tractor driver today, for his family. He lost his life today in a tractor accident, flipped it over. So I'm sure you'll be reading about it in the news tomorrow. We immediately talked to our staff and we had our safety people come in. We're going to start going over some of those safety procedures on incline structures. I'm not sure, the investigation is preliminary, so we're not sure exactly why he was on the decline that he was, but I'm sure all that'll come to light over time. We just ask for his family and his prayers. He was a Lifehouse worker working for the town of Sorrento, so just want to keep him in our prayers. Thank you.
Thank you. And a comment also, with the school board, you brought up the school board stuff, the orders I do want to bring to light. The school bus drivers, they report when they have a low-hanging limb or it affects their drive, a limb hits their windshield or whatever that may be. They report to the school board. School board reports with work order to vegetation. They've been very good at getting those done. So I've had 2 separate bus drivers contact me, and they have said, they were impressed with the speed at which it was done. So kudos to that. I mean, safer for the kids, right? So I do appreciate your office and what you guys have done.
Quite welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else, guys? All good, thank you. I got a motion to adjourn, Mr. Varnado, second, Mr. Mason. We are adjourned.